After the major disappointment that was The Last Jedi, I decided I would never again pay Disney to dash my expectations. So, with the reasoning that you can't spoil what's already been ruined, I decided for the first time ever that I would stay up to date with the leaks about the upcoming Star Wars Episode 9 to determine if they were going to course correct or make any attempt to begin to make things right. As a spoiler warning, if you do not want this movie spoiled for you, don't watch the rest of the video until after the movie comes out. Needless to say, when they revealed the title for Episode 9 as The Rise of Skywalker, I was curious to find out if they would do anything to redeem the only true Skywalker to appear in this saga, Luke. What I expected, though, and what I've come to discover up until now, is that Disney gave Episode 9 that name purely as a marketing ploy to sell tickets. Why would you name a movie Rise of Skywalker when literally no Skywalkers will be rising in it? According to the confirmed leaks, no actual Skywalkers even have a significant role to play in it. Instead, in what seems to be a move to distance themselves from true fans who love the original characters, they are choosing the title for the movie based on the very last scene where Rey grants herself the name of Skywalker. My question is, if she were to take someone's name, why wouldn't she choose Solo or Organa Solo? That would make more sense for her character, who had a very contentious relationship with Luke, and only ever had anything resembling a familial connection with Leia and Han. But no, instead they chose this title because the name Skywalker sells. The Skywalker name, as well as Mark Hamill's voice in the trailer, is nothing more than a cheap ploy, and what tipped me off from the beginning was when Mark Hamill said in a famous interview that he was so ready to be done with Star Wars. Given the kind of treatment his character has gotten, it's completely justified. From the very beginning of the Disney trilogy, there has been this war against his character, a slow assassination of it, while Disney uses him purely to push the marketing, and it pains me so much. Ever since they released that title, I hoped that they would correct their monumental mistake and have Luke Skywalker rise, the only Skywalker who could legitimately do so. The Force could have sent him back to have a final confrontation with Palpatine. There are a dozen ways they could have fixed this and given Luke the treatment he deserved. And also, why are the titles in all these movies solely about Rey? She was the one in which the Force awakened. She was also the Last Jedi. Then once again, they titled this movie all about Rey based on one scene, and for reasons I cannot fathom, she is somehow the Skywalker that rises. This is the classic Mary Sue storyline through and through. There is no denying it. She's perfect. She makes no mistakes. She always wins. She's the most loved by the other characters. And she, out of sheer entitlement, claims the name Skywalker for herself. Why can't she at least forge her own way, make her own name for herself that's not in the shadow of the Skywalker legacy? This is the most divisive decision they've made so far. Instead of trying to repair their relationship with the fans that helped make the Star Wars the powerhouse franchise that it is, they've doubled down and continued to yet again subvert fans' expectations, no matter the consequences. I can only think of one decision they could have made story-wise with this title, which is not my first preference, but it's the only other thing that would give Disney a chance to get my money in exchange for seeing this movie. And that would be to bring Anakin Skywalker back as the one who rises. But we know that's not happening. Now some will contend that Ben Solo is actually the Skywalker who rises, especially because Palpatine refers to him as a Skywalker in this movie. But again, he doesn't really rise. He is just there to serve as another accomplishment on Rey's mantle. Someone who she was able to help turn to the light side, and someone who will fall in love with her because everyone loves her. So much in fact that they would sacrifice themselves to save her, which he does. It's such a bad story. I don't understand what is going through Disney's head. Kathleen Kennedy said the fans will feel like they've been listened to. I would love to know in what universe she believes that the fans were listened to. Who was asking for this? which fans felt like they were being listened to and that with this movie had their gripes addressed. It certainly wasn't me and a legion of other fans. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this will be the first Star Wars movie since I've been alive that I'm not seeing opening weekend. Disney and Kathleen Kennedy obviously felt as if the fans who hated The Last Jedi weren't important enough to listen to. And because of that, the only way I can ensure that my message comes across is by not seeing that movie. I refuse to legitimize the choices Disney has made by giving them my money. I learned my lesson. I am just one person, but when Disney is determined to burn bridges like this with the fans, it will hurt them in the long run. It has in fact already. This was once the most successful franchise. That's certainly not the case anymore due to poor management. There are studios who listen to the fans, who pay tribute to beloved characters, and the fans reward that with their hard-earned money, clearly. And the Disney trilogy could have surpassed Endgame if they handled it with respect and care. After having these leaks confirmed, I'm really at a loss. Disney has ended the Skywalker saga by killing all of the Skywalkers. And as that sinks in, I'm left with the growing feeling that I will never want to see another Star Wars movie until Disney decides to release something that the fans, like me, actually want to see. So if you've made it this far, I'd like to thank you for listening to my rant. If you agree or disagree with my points, let me know in the comments section below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe for more Star Wars and other nerdy franchise content. Thanks again for listening, and as always, have a very nerdy day.